Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you well. I'm pretty sure I've still got 1 subscriber, so hi there. If you're out there anywhere and you suddenly get a notification, it's just me. My name is Gail and this is my channel. Just a kind of quick recap on a recap that I did before. I did a video about 3 years ago nearly in May, and I kind of promised I was going to do a video every day, and it just never happened because, the same things that always kind of like bug me inside, they kind of came out, and, the devil always finds the wrong time to come out and play. So essentially I kind of left it 3 years, and I did a video 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and now this is my next video. So there's one thing kind of really has occurred to me in recent years in life, and that is there's very few arguments you can actually win. And I suppose my experience is that, I used to be able to kind of debate with people. I'm not a great debater, I'm not a great arguer. I like to kind of find out facts on a subject before I enter into a kind of debate, but then sometimes you don't really kind of plan to debate with people, especially if it's friends and stuff like that. And often I found that if somebody doesn't like you, they don't really, want to debate with you at all. They pretty much kind of shut you down on all sides, and sometimes there's nothing you'll ever be able to do about that, because there are some people who just don't like you because, you might remind them of somebody else, or you might be away something you did, 5 years ago that has irritated them. And these might be people that you have pretty much no choice but to kind of get along with. You're in that kind of situation where you have to learn to live with certain people. So I kind of realized about in 2016 how polarized opinions became on certain subjects, and with the internet as well. People literally just want to kind of live in echo chambers. They want to hear people who, agree with them, and if you're not in their group, you don't all sing from the same hymn sheet, then you're usually kind of cast out. Literally on social media, the amount of people who would defriend you, say, on Facebook because of, you've put a point forward that indicates that you're somehow politically this way or that way. And it was crazy, really crazy, some of the things that people would accuse you of in order to kind of belittle you. A bit of a kind of like a straw man situation, really. Don't engage with a debate. Just kind of character assassinate the other person, which has been the trend, I think, for a few years. Obviously in the UK we had Brexit, and then we had elections, and then there was the US elections. So yeah, temperature was running pretty high, and what may have been, you may have had like a little bit of a of an no man's land where people would enter to debate. You just seem to be like one big wall. You're either that side or that side on any kind of debate, and that's generally the way it stayed. So what I found is you'll never win. I find it very difficult to ever win arguments, but what I found kind of works as a technique sometimes, and you have to be in, you have to be in the right frame of mind. As like I said, I'm not a professional debater. If I was to join a debating society, somebody would probably talk me out of it. But what I found is during conversations where somebody holds an opposing opinion or view or ideology, and they want to ram that down your throat, and then you have maybe an opposing opinion or ideology to that. I found that in the past I used to enter into conversations with people. I used to be knackered after these conversations. They could only, even if they lasted but 5 minutes, I'd be exhausted because I'd felt like I was like shouting, even though I'm not. And so somebody will put their opinion across, and they'll be talking to you about something, and even while they're talking to you, you're in your mind, you're not hearing what they're saying, because all you want to do is get your opinion back across to them, or you want to answer, the very first sentence that they've said, before they've even finished. So ultimately, I think a lot of people end up not listening to each other. And one of the things I kind of felt that's helped in recent years is that if there's somebody I kind of really disagree with and they disagree with me, I think it's a really good way to sort of get them to trust that they might not end up ever agreeing with you, but if they trust your if they trust you enough to allow you to listen to their point, and they trust that you're never going to interrupt them then, and they trust that you'll understand what they're saying, then I think it kind of makes life a lot easier. So I'd like to think I've become a better listener of recent years, and yeah, if somebody wants to, if somebody wants to give me their opinion, I will probably I will probably look for the peaceful solution, which is to agree to disagree, but at least I've heard them out, and they're aware of that, and it's weird because it has the effect that I found with some people is that it actually softens. They become more open because they're aware you're listening to them, you're taking in what they've said, you're giving them feedback, well, not feedback, you're echoing what they've just said, so you understand. And I think a lot of people really appreciate that you're doing that, and because you do that, then it almost it does like something psychological, that next time you kind of talk to them, they actually they listen to what you've got to say. So that is generally what I do. I don't look to win arguments anymore. I look to create. I look to strive to create peace. I'm not. When I talk, I'm quite. I still think I'm quite aggressive, and not maybe not forceful, but aggressive and assertive sometimes. It's just how I come across. But I think that, and I think because of that, people have put up barriers in the past. So this is a technique I've kind of adopted in order to maybe not have a resolution of that first conversation that you have with someone, but as a way of kind of putting the channels there in place. It's almost like attaching the cables. That's the first move, and then later on, when you kind of encounter that person again, they still hold their ideals, and you've still got your philosophy of life. But this time they seem more open to listening, to what you're saying this time, because you gave them the respect before, and that's basically all it is. And I think these days on social media, people just want to kind of shout a lot of times at other people. And like I said, me being quite assertive and aggressive, that would have been my first my first foot forward would have been to do that. But my tactics now are completely different. If I ever want to win an argument, it's going to take more than one conversation. And if a debate doesn't happen within that one conversation, then that's fine, because we can come back to it. But as long as I put the groundwork in to come back to the first original conversation, then that's the main thing with me. And also, if you kind of relent a little bit with people and listen to them and understand their point of view, sometimes you can change your point of view as well. I mean, it's not a kind of coercive way of tricking somebody into believing what you said. There's no hypnosis about it. It is about understanding other people, and hopefully giving them the opportunity then to open up and understand what you're saying. Some people just won't. in life, but you know, some people do, and I find that this is a really, really good technique to do that. So, and that's all I want to say. I just wanted to say that, you know, it's better to seek, you know, a common ground with someone than it is to just go head to head, you know, loggerheads, because you never get anywhere. Always find, you know, that goes common grounds with people, and you know, from that a little bit of, you know, peace and harmony can maybe happen. And if people think, you know, they've got something in common with you, you know, because they allow you to give you that time to kind of build a sort of a relationship, even though you disagree fundamentally on a lot of stuff. If they can do that, and you can find a bit of common ground, then there's always a future for more conversations. Guys, have a really great day, great week, and hopefully I'll have something less. I feel like, you know, making this like getting my thoughts out about things is you know, sometimes it feels quite trivial because you know. And before I go, you know, it's probably worth saying that I have found in the past that I tend to bottle up the emotions of situations, and so it kind of feels quite cathartic to just, you know, speak it out aloud, what I feel about the way I approach life, and how even at my age I'm kind of I still feel I'm evolving. I mean, you can't teach a dog new tricks, but you can, you know, show that old dog the tricks, and if that dog does pick up the odd trick here and there, then that's, you know, more important than not being exposed to those new things at all. And I guess that's life. I'm always learning from everyone around me, and you know, no matter what age, gender, or ideology, there's always something to be learned from people, and you know, to kind of respect that they have, you know, they have a perspective on things that you maybe don't share because you've come from a different background or whatever. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon.